What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about SwiftCoin today. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it, okay? Here we are sitting at about $0.006988 right here, resting. We are resting at the previous areas of resistance, the coveted areas that were at the highest points of the cycle back in, March, April times, June times, are now the low points, the points that were like, come on, can we get bullish already? These were coveted prices back before, and now we're finding support at these previous areas of resistance. That's a very bullish thing, you guys. Looking at the 3-day time frame, finding support at the 50 as well, living above the 50 in the RSI. Never a bad thing. It'd be nice, if you could hold this higher low structure. It's kind of like you broke out of this already, and that's not ideal, but you're also consolidating, right? You already did kind of with this move, you had your kind of end of this down move, the beginnings and the ends of this up move here. So of course you broke out of this uptrend in your RSI, you're consolidating now. But you'll make another uptrend, or you'll get positive readings whenever you see this next move up. Where is this next move going to take you? And that's a very good question, right? Because I think from a high to a low here, I think this is going to be our guide going forward. We look at the high to a low here. You hit the 1272, pulled all the way back to the 786. It's a very expected thing to do, a very common thing to do. Generally, whenever you hit this primary target zone, you will pull back to the anywhere from the 100 to the 886, or the 786 to the 618. You can pull back to that zone as well. If you hit the 1414 or the 1618, if you find resistance up here, generally you don't go below the 886. If you stop at the 1272 or below the 1414, that's when you can go to the 786 or even lower. And just because if you hit the 1618, you could go all the way down to the 618. It's possible. You can see that kind of huge volatility. It's just less common, right? And that makes sense. Like intuitively thinking about it, the higher up you go, less likely you will go to these lower ranges, because that's just bigger volatility overall, right? Obviously, you're going to do that. So anyways, finding support here, very normal. The next thing to do that would be very normal would be to move up to the 1618 or above. If we take that move, essentially from where we are now, up to the 1618, we compare it to the move we just had. It's not even really the full size length of this move that we just had. So I think it's feasible, very possible that 2 cents is not the next target for SwiftCoin, right? At least a good minimum target. It would make sense on a fib perspective. But going a little bit past the fibs and looking at the price action itself, it would make me think that you probably don't stop there. But that's a 3x. That's about a 3x from the current price. I suspect that the next month will essentially bring a 2 to 3x across the board for most coins on average. So this is at that on the average zone, kind of the average range of expectations for the most of the market to make, but it's on the higher end of that average zone. So that's good, right? And this is your minimum target. Keep in mind, right? That's your minimum target. You could go all the way up to the 1886 and beyond, and I kind of suspect you do, and that'd be a 4x or more x, right? You could maybe go all the way up to 5 cents itself. You're at $0.0069, at 0.69 cents right now, essentially 0.7 cents. You could go all the way up to 5 cents by the end of January. If not sometime in February, would be my expectation. Again, I'm expecting this move to end for most of the market somewhere in the the last 5 days of January, you guys, or maybe even around the time of Trump's inauguration. But I suspect it will be after Trump's inauguration that the market tops off. Likely most of the market tops off in February, but some coins might top off in late January as well. So these targets, that's the kind of time frame we're working with. But I don't know if we see a move all the way up to 5 cents. That might be the highest extent of this price range that I could expect over this next kind of time frame of a move that we would have, right? Whenever I say a move, in case anybody's wondering, it's like this right here. This was a move, then we consolidated. So when's our next move? Where's it going to go before we consolidate again? And then our next move, you know what I mean? Like how's that going to look? Our next move is what we're targeting out, and right now the minimum I have is 2 cents, the maximum I have is 5 cents. So likely you don't stop here, likely you don't go up here, right? Those are just kind of the extremes of this zone. Likely the only area that you would see that would make sense out of fibs would be at about 3 cents to 3.5 cents, and that from a kind of measurement perspective is a 4.2 to a 4.8x, and that is pretty doable. That's pretty achievable and nice as well compared to the average coin, because I would expect that you do grow more than the average coin with that. Let's look at this real quick and wrap this video up. I do this sometimes whenever I expect a coin to perform better than the market. I like to compare it to others. If this chart agrees, cool. If it doesn't agree, well then, maybe we got to rethink things. Ideally, you'd want to see this chart looking bearish, like it wants to go down. If it looks like it wants to go down, that means SwiftCoin will outperform the majority of the market. majority of the altcoins going forward. And it looks like you're going down. If I was holding this, if this was a stock I was holding, you've got lower highs and a flat low here. I might be optimistic that you can move up a little bit, but in time you are going to break this and go down. And I certainly would expect that in this year of 2025, you do see a breakdown of this. So SwiftCoin likely does. All this is saying is it probably does outperform the markets. I think we can just see it with our naked eyes. 3-day RSI looks bearish as hell, you guys. It looks super bearish. The higher lows is nice. Relatively speaking, it looks bearish, but as long as you're below the 60, it doesn't look too bad. It kind of would suggest that you move up. So SwiftCoin might it might get outperformed by most of the market. Maybe then that could imply that this move isn't as big for SwiftCoin by the end of January as we're expecting it to be, maybe. But this is only a 3-day time frame. Looking at it on a weekly time frame, much more bearish looking RSI actually. And let's just see here from a high to a low. High to a low at your 0.5, kind of an unconventional area, but this is an unconventional chart. High to low 61869 drops. That to me, man, that just says it all. You could go up to the 382 at about 62 trillion, whatever that would mean for SwiftCoin versus others. Maybe the altcoin market outperforms SwiftCoin by like 15% in the next week or two. Maybe by the end of January, it outperforms SwiftCoin by a little bit, but then going into February, SwiftCoin outperforms the rest of the market, and that's when you start to see this thing really cut open and cut loose. That's my expectations, but I got nothing else for you guys. If you like the video, hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Thank you all for being here. If it's not clear as to where my targets are, it's 2 to 5 cents likely for SwiftCoin. Let's see, hold on. Get this all the way back, all the way back. Keep on going. We're going to get it all. Likely somewhere between 3 and 3.5 cents. 2 to 5 cents overall target, likely somewhere to 3 to 3.5 cents. I expect you see this by the end of February. You'll be making this move, in the process of making this move, and onwards and upwards toward these targets by the end of January. I would suspect that you're very near this target, if not above this target, by the end of January. And then as we get closer to the end of the move, you'll be upwards in this area or this area, right? And that should be sometime in February. So that's all I got for you. If you like the video, hit the like button, subscribe. I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care. Bye.